So I've got my butter melted, and we're going to put some boiling water. It says 3 to 4 tablespoons, and rather than grab your tablespoon and go 1, 2, you know, get these little guys. You can get them at the dollar store, and this one's actually 4 tablespoons. I use them all the time. They're very helpful. And I boiled the kettle already. Anyway, so I'm going to put the hot water in there. So she kind of made a nice little buttery mix, and then the next ingredient is the cocoa, and she just mixed that well. Let's see, I might get a little. Okay, now this is where I also, with this recipe, I double it because I want more chocolate, and I put more of the coconut that we roll it in, and you'll see that later. Okay, so now with the cocoa, it says 2 tablespoons, so just use that as a rough guide. So there's we'll call that 1, 2, 2.5. Anyway, we want it chocolatey. Anyway, put some more in there. Okay, so there's your, and get a good quality cocoa and unsweetened cocoa, because we're going to add some sugar to this. Okay, and it also says the ingredient for this is just a runny, very buttery chocolate sauce. And so all now it's just your confectioner sugar, which is powdered sugar. And it says 2 cups of icing sugar or confectioner sugar. And I'm just going to do that, and it'll just melt in there. Okay, boom. Since I went with some, I'm going to go a little bit over on that. There we go. So we got the sugar, and this is pretty much it. I'm going to get you could use a mixer here. Just want a nice, because I put too much cocoa in, I might have to add a little bit more of the liquid. I'm just going to add a little bit more here. Oh yeah, it's coming together really well. It's kind of a warm chocolate sauce, and that's partly to revive that stale sponge cake. Now, if you don't want to have an actual, be so authentic that you have an actual stale sponge cake, freeze it. And I grabbed the sponge that's frozen, so we can play with that. Okay, this is just about it, and I want to taste it just to see. Oh yeah, this looks good. That's really good. I went a little extra on the butter too. Okay. Let me get this closer to me. Move the kettle. Okay, so I'm gonna, it says to use tongs, and it's not a bad idea. Okay, I'm just gonna put the whole thing in there. And I'm also, I'll just use a little scoop. I wanna just douse this. You can just turn it in there. I don't know if you can see it. It's just pretty much covered. The top, the bottom, the sides, everything's covered in this wonderful chocolate. Talk about a rescue mission for stale sponge. I mean, this would revive cardboard. Anything would come out a winner with this treatment. Okay. It says 2 cups of coconut, and you just put this in a pan. I'm just gonna, and the measurements, don't be so worried, because all you want to do is cover it. So I'm just going to put a bunch of coconut in here. Okay. Now I'm going to pull this little sweet bit of wonderful, so the bottom, everything. Okay, I'm just going to put it right in here. This is the messy thing. It's a fun one to do. I used to do this with my daughter Rachel. She's a wonderful cook. You can just turn it, and voila.